The planes from the 20s and 30s would have been flying slower and even lower elevation. Hey guys, Randy here, and welcome aboard the Seabee Traveler Channel. Just out at Quartzsite on Plamosa Road is the Quartzsite rock alignment, and I wanted to go check it out because it's a little intriguing to me. Because growing up out here, I've always heard the story about how they were used during World War II for the pilots to navigate towards the Quartzsite Airport and eventually over to Blythe to the bomber field they had over there. But I heard another theory about it that makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, and that theory is that this was actually they were actually done in the early 20s through the 30s, mostly used by the cross country flyers for the U.S. airmail and that type of thing. And I learned in looking at sectional charts, aviation sectional charts, that Quartzsite actually did have two airfields. One was called Quartzsite Airfield and one was called Connor Airfield. The second airport, the Quartzsite Airport, was just to the east of Central, across from Tyson Wells, and there had two runways, dirt runways, kind of like the other airport was, but those would have actually kind of crossed where I-10 is now. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and yeah, looking at the sectional charts, it does look like that rock alignment pointed more towards the Quartzsite Airport, which is almost like right at the crossroads, and Connor Field was more towards Q Mountain. So I think the rock alignment actually went towards that other one. But I don't know. That's something for everybody to decide for themselves. That's just another theory I heard, and to me it makes sense. Anyways, I wanted to take a look at it, and we'll get a close-up view of it, and it's just up here. Yep, another gorgeous winter morning around Quartzsite. But yeah, here's the entrance to the alignment, the rock alignment. But yeah, let me get unpacked and we'll take a quick look. Well, while I was while I was getting everything ready to walk out here, a couple cars pulled up behind me. Some people coming to check it out. I thought I might have it to myself, but the nice enough people said hi to them. One of them's one of them acted like he's been here quite a few times, and he was just showing the other one. So they're just visitors in town. All right. Well, here's the letters. They're from. There was one of the gentlemen. Seemed to know quite a bit here. That they do have volunteers that come out and kind of maintain these.
What's that?
But they would have originally been painted. I think I read that they were painted probably silver, a bright color to stand out against the desert tarnished rocks. Yeah, there's a big old circle right here. Look at that. It's probably what 20 feet or so diameter. And looking at it from the sky, that would have been an airport symbol. So they would have known, and then the arrow pointing towards the airport. Yeah, here's yeah, so these letters are probably, I don't know, 10, 11 feet tall, maybe. So that's another thing that made sense to me is the planes from the 20s and 30s would have been flying slower and even lower elevation, so they would have seen these easier. The World War II planes would have been flying a lot higher and faster, and plus the navigation systems they had were much better then. So that's the reason I think that they were built for the pilots in the 20s and not so much the World War II. And I'm sure they did use them. If they went off course, they may have seen them and pointed in the right direction. But Just look at that view, boy. Don't think I could have asked for much better morning. I say that every time I come to Quartzsite. Moon shining. And that's back towards the direction of the Quartzsite over there. But like I said before, that's another story I heard, and that one makes sense to me. And from this elevation, you can see it really well. You can see Quartzsite with the airport symbol, and then you also have the north symbol. But yeah. So anyways, all right, I'm gonna head over to the Bouse Intaglio, the fisherman Intaglio. So I wanted to, on my way through, stop by, take a look at that. I can honestly say I've never been there, so that's gonna be a little bit of a treat. Not sure why. I've never been there as a kid. It's a little ways out of town, and it's really close to the rock alignment. So it's a nice little place to stop by. Alright, so it's not too far up. I was told there's no sign pointing towards it. There's a parking lot. Yep, there's just a tiny little sign, and it's just right here. So it looks like there's somebody already here. Yep, there he goes, out on the trail. And there's no real markings, just I kind of knew to look for this parking lot. But anyways, let me get parked and get my stuff ready, and we'll take a little hike to see the fisherman Intaglio, Bouse. Alright, I'm ready. This area closed. No motor vehicles behind here. And here's your sign, archaeological site. That's the only thing they have telling you about this, so you kind of have to know where it's at. I'll try and leave some grid coordinates down in the description. But, wow, look at this. It's probably, I don't know, 60 degrees. It's a little bit chillier this morning, but the sun came up, warmed it up just perfect. Alright, well here's the entrance. It's gated or fenced off, so you can't drive in there anymore, keeping it protected. It's a great thing. And it's not too bad of a little stroll. Probably about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to walk back here at a pretty decent pace. Nothing hard about it. Up and down a little bit. Let's check this plaque out. So this is, it's a plaque to show is donated by the Friends of Fishermen and in coordination with BLM. So it's a list of people that are helping keep this place pristine. So it looks like we're just up here a little bit. Now this is neat to see. And we'll take a little quick walk around, and it's I think they call it a geoglyph. We'll see what the sign up here says. But it's part of the native oral tradition, is what I've heard. We'll take a look at the sign right up here and get a little bit better description, I think. Well, you can't hardly see it from this angle, can you? Things like this are always a little bit better from the air. I just wonder how did they... Let me take a quick look here. Bouse fisherman. Yep, a geoglyph. Native Americans, Lower Colorado. May tell the mythological story of a god that thrust a spear into the ground to make the mighty Colorado. But as I was saying before, how did they see to make this thing? I mean, I don't see any big mountains. Nothing around here close enough that they would get a good view. So I don't know. These things always intrigue me. Kind of like the ones in Quartzsite. You know, how did they get up high enough to see what they were doing? Yeah, here's a much better view. Oh, look at that. He's got the spear in his hand, the water, some fish below him. And these things are so cool. I love this type of history, and they're all over the desert around here. Check out this old guy. He's lived a life out here. He's all scraggly looking. I as a photographer, I really love that kind of thing. All right, well, I think I'm going to head back to the truck. There's a couple other places I wanted to check to see, so we'll hit the road and we'll get closer to Bouse and check out the foundation of an old building that I heard about. Oh, you know what? We're gonna be going through Quinn Pass, and I wanted to stop and show you a historical sign. It's about a guy who did some mining there, and he had a cistern. And so I wanted to check that out and see if maybe I can find the cistern. But I don't have a lot of time. I'm just going to check it kind of quick, and we'll see what we can find. All right, it's just right up here. Let me get parked, and we'll check this sign out real quick. All right, well, let's see here. Quinn Pass. Thomas P. Quinn, born in 1869, had a mine near here, dug a cistern to catch water. He built a house. The remains, they survive. So somewhere around here, I don't know where it is, and I don't have a lot of time to search. But if somebody knows where that is, could you please let me know? Because I want to find it. Well, it's such a beautiful day, and at Quinn Pass, I just kind of wanted to give you a view of the area from around here. That's back where we were just at towards Quartzsite. And this time of the day, I just love how the sun catches these mountains with all the shadows, gives it some depth. That's the photography and me talking. And that is Plamosa Road heading off towards Bouse. And that's where we're headed. And you can see all the roads going off into the desert. It looks like a grid to me right there, though. Almost like a community was going to be started out there. But yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful area. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. Well, I saw these people over here, and maybe this is where the cistern is. I have no idea. But they're kind of up in the hills up there. So I'm going to stop, see if they know anything about it. And if not, I'll just have to move on and find out where it's at later and come back. Yeah, let me ask this guy. Oh, those were our friends from the rock alignment. It was the same group of people, but they didn't know anything. They were a group of people that came. Hey, buddy, it's a long walk ahead of you. But they were a group of people that came from Upper Peninsula. Their teachers coming down to get rocks to take back to their classes to teach them. And he was just showing them some of what he knows about. But this is the foundation to the house of the founder of Bouse, poet. But yeah, this is where he had his original house, and I guess back in the day it was a pretty big deal. He had a little he built a swimming pool. So let's check out this sign, little description of it. Bouse home site. Thomas Bouse. Let's see. He brought his wife and daughter in 1892, and he got bit by a rattlesnake, and in 1929 and died. The house was raised in 1948. Oh, he's in the cemetery. You know what? I'm gonna try and find that cemetery. See if we can't find his gravesite too. Cool. I see something that looks like it might have been a swimming pool. All right, so this looks like it was the foundation. Well, at least part of a foundation from something. The sign said that it was a 2-story house, and he ran a store from here. You can see where there were some posts through this chunk of concrete. But yeah, I'm not sure what this foundation maybe was part of the store. I'm not sure. The other thing that comes to mind when I'm looking at this whole site is that it's in a wash. Now, I don't know over 100 years ago if the wash ran through here, and just over time it's made its way through here, but it looks like a lot of damage was caused by running water through here over time. Yeah, so that's the foundation. I don't think that was the house. That's foundation's probably long gone, or it's in a bushes somewhere. I couldn't find it. Let's take a look at this swimming pool a little bit. Look at the way the steel is, or the rebar reinforcement. They just used whatever they could find back then. This looks like a gear to some machinery or something. Wow. Yeah, I noticed that a lot in this old construction. It's just use whatever they could to run through here to hold it in place. Wow. Just anything they could find. That's interesting to me. I'm not sure how much later after he built the house that he built this, but I just wonder how the maintenance of a pool was back then. I mean, how did they keep it clean? Did algae build up on it? I don't know what kind of technology they had to keep water clean then. And that's a lot of water to hold. These are pretty thin walls to hold back that much water. Oh, I see they use the buttress type here. That was smart. Use little buttresses in the middle of the wall to keep it. You could see over time it's eroding away. Foundation's just gonna get washed away one of these days. What's on this side over here? More foundation from the pool. Yep, it's all just getting deteriorated. There's part of that buttress. They even had looks like there's a piece of rebar going with the angle of that. It's all rusted away. Well, yeah, it looks like most of everything is gone here, but it's still a neat little site to check out. You know, I might just I wonder if there's anything else in these bushes. I think there's something over here I wanted to check out. Looks like it's hidden in the trees. It's around. Maybe this was some sort of water tower or something they used to I'm not sure. I don't know what this was. But it's just like everything else, it's crumbling away. Yeah, there's probably more in these bushes. Let me take a quick look over here, and yeah, it's a big wide open place. This washes probably runs pretty good. Looks like when it rains, yeah, I have some friends that still live here, so yeah, they could probably tell me how bad this wash runs after a good rain. But anyways, I think I'm gonna head back to the truck because I wanted to check out, see if we can find that cemetery that Mr. Bouse is buried in, and maybe head over to the museum. Well, I tried looking up where the cemetery was, tried Googling it, but I couldn't seem to find it, so I'm going to stop in this Roadrunner market and see if some of the locals can point me in the right direction. Well, that wasn't easy. I asked the lady, the nice lady at the cashier, and she wasn't sure where it was. And then a customer came in, got in line, and he thought he knew where it was, but he wasn't sure. And then a third customer came in, and he started helping too. So we had 4 of us trying to figure out where it was, but we eventually did. So that's what I like about small towns too, is that they have time to help you. My first impression is there are a lot of unmarked graves. So this might be a little bit tougher than I was thinking. U.S. Navy, Korea. There's another one. World War II, Army. There's a lot of military in here. There's an old one. There's some more. Boy, yeah, there's just so many, and it's another military. A lot of veterans in here. Wow. This one looks old. I think that I may have a big problem trying to find his actual gravesite. But there's somebody important was over here, it looks like. It sticks out more than anything else. There's another old one. Can't read that. Well, I found a gravestone for the most noticeable gravesite, and it is Mrs. Winters, 1858 to 1923. Well, that's not Mr. Bouse, so I don't think I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna try and ask when I get to the museum. Yeah, just so many unmarked. I'm sure it's here somewhere. But when I get to the museum, I'm going to ask if they know where it is, because that's a shame. I really wanted to see if we could find it. Alright, well, here's the museum on the right here, and it is open. It's actually not too far. The graveyard was on that hill you see in the background. So it's not too far away from there. But I wanted to stop by and check this place out. Cool. Nice little miniature tank there. Bouse Assay office. Yeah, this is going to be neat. I've heard a lot of stuff, and there's some really cool history. So mini tank again. There's a lot of military history in Bouse and a lot of mining history here as well. Camp Bouse. That's a cool old shack back here. Oh, this is so well done. It's paved, or I guess you'd say paved with concrete. What are these? Some old artifacts. It looks like a bomb that was crunched. An old wagon. Man, steel wheels. Yikes. Rough ride there. Let's see what this sign says here. The miner shack. Oh, so this was a miner shack. It was first a home, then a workshop. This is the original. It's the original one from the Swansea mine. Cool. Check out this little art. More artifacts. Oh, cool metal sculptures. Well, okay, what's this over here? We got a pull hose cart. And a big old wheelbarrow in the background. Man, that thing must have been heavy. Check that out. Back in the old days, man, it was a push cart hauling hose around. Oh, check out this drill press. Wow, that thing is belt-driven pump jack system used. Wow, technology back then, huh? What else we have? This is what I think I heard. This was an old foundation, or the foundation to an old hotel. Yeah, the Alaskan Hotel. This was a two-story hotel, and the front door faced the corner of Main Street and Santa Fe Avenue. So that would be right there. That's where the front doors were. Didn't look that big. I like how they have the benches there now to relax in that nice big open area. So quiet. Look at that big old wheel there. What was that thing for? Bull wheel. Oh, so that was part of a big old drill rig. Wow, interesting. It's pretty well preserved. That's going to happen in the desert. Stuff's pretty well preserved. Just look at all this. It's like lowering stuff down into a pit or a well, maybe getting water for sloughs, for wet sloughs. More mining equipment. What's this one say? Ooh, a ball mill system. Crushing ore. Yep. More mining history right here. And man, I wonder how much those things weigh. You gotta weigh tons. That's what's inside. Can we see inside? Can't see in there. So this must have been, this was belt driven for sure. Cool. Look at this old light gauge rail system for probably getting ore out of the mines. Alright, I think I'm ready to go check out the inside of this museum. What do you think? Well, that's nice. It only cost a donation to get in, and man, the guy at the front desk was really nice. I did ask him about, look at all these old samples, ores and drill samples, core samples. But I asked him about the cemetery and the grave site for Mr. Bouse, and he wasn't sure. He says he's going to have to bring that up because he should probably maybe know where that's at. And but I did thank him for the information he gave me. He told me something really cool. I'll show you in a little bit. Look at that old shack up there. Wow. Oh, it's a painting. Somebody painted that. That's a nice little old typewriters. It's like money, like a little is that an old calculator? There's numbers on it. It's a map of the Bouse area. There's Quartzsite. I see Quartzsite in there. There's a display of some trinkets and wow, this old shaving cream display. That's cool. Look at that. Oh, the glare is really bad on these windows, isn't it? These old glass bottles and oh, here we go. Cameras. That's right up my alley right there. Look at those pictures of panoramic. I like those old pictures down there. While I enjoy mining history, military history is what I really, really like. And just check out, they have a cool display. And Bouse, Camp Bouse during World War II, and the whole, like Quartzsite, Parker, Bouse, this whole part of Arizona was used by General Patton when they were training for the North African campaign. So you can still go out there and find the old camps, and I've gone out, especially as a kid, up near Parker area. You can go out and find where the old camp. Look at that, those old Navy guys there. That's a boot camp picture. I remember those. But they would, you can go out and find where the camps were, and you still see the rings of rocks where the tents were. Just look at all this military history. Camp Bouse. But yeah, Camp Bouse. And you can see Right there, top secret, just below the Manhattan Project, Camp Bouse hosted a top secret weapon, and this is part of a display right here. But it was so top secret that it was second only to the Manhattan Project. Look at these old uniforms. That reminds me of my grandpa. I really wish as a kid that I would have asked him more questions. Check out this. It's an old, looks like maybe a World War I train display. The big old cannon. But I wish I would have asked him more. We got here food, ration books. But I wish I would have asked him more questions, hear about more war stories. But he didn't like talking about it all that much. He was in D-Day. He was part of the invading force. But yeah, Sherman tank, more uniforms, waterproof for the rain. Didn't use that much out here probably. Old radio. Oh, check out these old mines. Anti-tank mines. There's like a field, like a desk for the field. Wow. And a lot of this stuff is on loan or donated to the museum. And I gotta say, for such a small town, they have a really, really good museum here. It's so well done. But anyways, here's part of that top secret display. It was a light. It was a light that they were going to shine into the eyes of the Germans. See how thick this is? Let me see if I can... the dummy... they had a dummy gun on it. A gizmo. They call it a gizmo. Check out the inside of this. And this is a good display of what the inner workings would have been like. But it was a top secret light that would shine into the German troops, blinding them. Wow. This is so cool. I didn't even know this. I really didn't even know this till I came in here. See, I learn stuff all the time when I'm going out, checking out museums. But the only reason that they didn't use it was because we went through the North African campaign so quickly that they never had time to get it fully functioning and use it. Well, this is really cool and very well done. I'm glad I decided to stop in here. Well, right on Highway 72 as you're driving through Bouse, they have these really neat displays that you can just park and stretch your legs a little bit. Some of my old EO buddies from the Seabees would thought they might like to see some of this equipment. There's a couple things that got my interest, like this old Caterpillar, and then I saw this old horse-drawn grader. Thought that was interesting to see too. That's pretty neat. Wow. Imagine using that. They also have these cool displays that I saw, and I really wanted to stop and take a closer look at these. Big old tank. Man, look at the size of that thing. They look so much bigger in person too. I don't think the camera really does it justice. Those things are huge, huge, huge. But there's another piece of equipment. It's M109 self-propelled howitzer. This was introduced in the early 60s. And that thing is huge too. I think they fit 4 people in those things. And still, the camera doesn't really do it justice when you're standing up beside of it. Look how they have those stabilizers in the back, so when it's shooting, it digs in. Man, looks like an access tank, access hatch in the back, storing munitions. Just a big old massive piece of equipment. Wow. 155 millimeter shell. I think that's what they shot. Man. Oh, this is cool. This is what I really wanted to get a close-up look at. The M60 patent tank. Well, from what I read, the M60 isn't. They call it a patent tank, but they didn't officially call it that. It's more of a variant or descendant from the M48 patent tanks. And this is the last time they used a variant or an upgraded version of this was actually in Desert Storm, and Marines used them there. What's this sign say? Camp Bouse. Cool. A little bit more history about stuff that was over in that museum. But yeah, this was last used in Desert Storm, and they retired it just after that. Some of the National Guard, I think, was still using it in the mid to late 90s. But you mostly hear about the M1 Abrams in Desert Storm, but no, Marines use these. See if I can get a front view of this thing. What is this? I see a sign with nothing here. What is this? This large saguaro cactus donated to Camp Bouse Memorial Site. Somebody steal their cactus? Wow. But anyways, back to this beast. I couldn't imagine. This thing is huge. Just something coming at you, just bearing down on you. That would be scary. A big old engine compartment in the back. To give you some scale, I'm 6'2", and those tracks are probably coming up to about shoulder height. That just gives you, these things are really huge. And I think they shot 105 millimeter out of these. And the driver hatch right up underneath that gun. Boy, that thing is massive. And cool. Massive and cool. Look at that gear. Big old gear driving those tracks. Wow, that thing is huge. Look at this old truck. Really wish I could find something like this out in the desert and get some Milky Way pictures with light painting on that. That would be really neat to see. And they also have, I was looking at these, they have these, memorials. That's hard for me to say. Memorials. Having to do with the different units that were out at, 8-Ball. 8-Ball was he was the mascot out there. It's a donkey mascot. Monument Row, that's what they're called this. Yeah, they just have a lot of these plaques, just honoring everybody that contributed back then. Very well done. I thought this was really cool. But yeah, if you ever walking or driving through Bouse, yeah, if you need a place to stop and stretch your legs, this is definitely a cool place to do that. And I would say stop by that museum if you have a couple minutes. That's well worth it. Drop off $5 or so as a donation, and it'll be worth your time. All right, well, that's going to do it from Bouse, Arizona. Boy, what a rich history they have here. The World War II, Camp Bouse, and his patent training for North Africa, and plus the mining history. So anyways, I'm gonna check out, and just remember, never say goodbye, always see you later.